Awesome. So, welcome, guys. This is Becky and Tyler. Tyler just finished his 12-week program. He did absolutely amazing. But, Tyler, I'm not going to steal your glory. And Becky, all right. Tyler, how about you introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm Tyler Bolio from Wisconsin, Hudson, high school student, freshman, sophomore.
There you
Sorry.
go. Heck
Yep.
yeah.
Baseball
Heck yeah.
player.
And then, Becky, do you want to introduce yourself too?
Yep. Hi, Becky Bolio, Tyler's mom.
Awesome. Awesome. So, I'm just going to ask you guys a couple of questions. Please answer these nice and truthfully. All right. And we're going to get you on out of here. So, what made you, this can be for both of you. All right. What made you want to start working on your speed in the first place?
You can go.
Um, Honestly, getting like to that next level of athletics, going above and beyond, yeah. That's what did
Absolutely.
for me.
Yeah.
And I would say, he's at the point, he's a sophomore and he's a good baseball player and he was fast already. But it was also the time to like look at, okay, what are his goals and how can we help him best achieve that? And so it was like the time to invest in him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, I know obviously we talked about this, but just so everybody knows, you said you were a pretty fast kid. What was your 60 time before getting into the program and kind of just like your overall base stealing ability, Tyler?
Yeah, so I ran about a 7.05, so pretty much seven flat before coming into the program.
Okay. And
And
then
base
base stealing,
stealing
yeah.
ability, he was above average. He was
Okay.
good.
Above
He's
average.
Yeah, he was good before.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then like talking about specific improvements and results, right? What did you notice, throughout the course of the program? I know there was that time where you had a bunch of stolen bases and then your 60 times. Kind of talk to me about how you felt that transition of not only your speed, but obviously the knowledge of your speed and what you were doing in your training, kind of just throughout the course of the program and to the end.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously my times went down, everything got better, but in the calls, like you would coach me on stuff, fix form and stuff, and I would look at the coaching call sheets, and then the next week, like I would focus on it, and they would get better as time went on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Becky, what did you notice about, your son's, kind of speed development over the course of these past 12 weeks?
Yeah, so like we said, he was a 7.0560 going into this, the end of his freshman year, and now he's got clocked a couple times at a 6.5460, 6.560, 6.66. So he dropped a half a second. And between the spring, we looked back, the spring, the summer, and the fall, he's stolen 52 bases. So if there's a parent who's sitting in the stands and their son steals a base and they get called out and you feel like, oh, just that like frustration,
That's
in
not a
your
great
stomach.
feeling as a parent, I'm assuming, right? That's not a great
Right.
feeling as a
No, if
parent.
you feel like that, just like frustration, or that they could advance, they could be better in your gut, then you should invest in them and help them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we try to do here. Obviously, like we work with a ton of other kids, kids come in at different levels. You know what I'm saying? Tyler was a little bit faster. Cool. Let's get him even faster. Made that a legit tool for him. Some kids come a little bit slower, right? Some of the slower kids on the team, they just want to become average or above average. You know what I'm saying? So obviously we work with all different types. Everyone has their own starting point. But the biggest thing that we found is that everyone has that genetic starting point, but they also have a limit that they don't know can be achieved until those mechanics are fixed, until they're trained the right way. That's when we say, okay, this is where you can be. Because some kids are down here, but their ceiling's up here and they'll never know it. You know what I'm saying? They'll never know it. So, no, I appreciate that. Tyler, this one's going to be for you. All right. Obviously, we talk about a couple different things in the program. Our biggest things, those speed and mechanics, right? We talk about that all the time, but we also talk about some other things, right? We talk about your health, we talk about your nutrition, whatever else it may be. Kind of tell me about like what was your favorite part of the program? And it doesn't have to be, the sprint mechanics. It could be anything else that we talked about. What was your favorite part about the program?
My favorite part of the program, let's see. I mean, obviously the sprinting was great, getting better, but like talking about just like stuff outside of it was good too. We talked a lot about nutrition. Adrian's pretty big into that. Helped me with that along the way. And yeah, just everything else that goes along with the sprinting
How
that will
much,
help me.
sorry to cut you off there. I'm so sorry, Tyler. But
No,
how much weight did you gain? Kind of, obviously, you kind of got on this little nutrition plan. I want to know how much weight did you gain from, kind of the time you started to the time right around now? Did you say it was about 10 pounds, right?
yeah, I think it was about 8. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. So you're faster, a heck of a half second faster. You're
Yeah.
up almost 10 pounds. You're stronger than ever. Like, that seems like a pretty successful 3 months to me. And that's definitely something to pat yourself on the back for. Like,
Thank you.
seriously, dude. That's freaking
Thank you.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all. Actually, just kidding. I got one more question for you. All right. If you were to recommend this to somebody, who would you recommend this to and why? I know Becky already answered this question, but Tyler, I'm going to let you answer this question.
I would just recommend this to any athletes that are trying to excel in speed or strength or anything to get to that next level.
Heck yeah, dude. A man of many words, Tyler. You're my favorite, dude. All
Yeah.
right. So, guys, thank you so much for getting on. All right. It was a pleasure. Great job in the program. All right. If you guys want coaching and results like Tyler's, please shoot me a follow, shoot me a DM. We'll talk. We'll get them squared away. All right. You guys have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, Adrian.